All right, so moving on to Black Panther. Now, this is a movie that when I saw it, I wasn't huge on it. I liked it, but I thought it was very simple, and I personally did not really care for Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa here. I don't know. I just wasn't connecting with him. I wasn't connecting with Shuri all that much. It wasn't working for me as much as I had wanted it to be, and so I kind of left pretty underwhelmed. And then I watched it a second time, I don't know how long ago, and I thought it was better, but I still wasn't big on it. And I was like, oh no, like, okay, well, that happens here and there. So I've been in my Marvel craze, and I've been really enjoying everything. And I got to this one. This was another big one that I really wanted to revisit after having just watched Civil War and his introduction in there, and knowing, what happened to his father, and knowing all those little tidbits of information about him, and really paying attention to everything. And I went into it this time, and I really was paying attention. I was writing down everything, and I fucking really enjoyed the shit out of it. So this, yet again, I mean, no surprise, this watch through has been gold for me. This has been the best watch through, because I really have enjoyed or loved every single entry, and exponentially more than any other previous time. Just watching them back to back, I feel like helps so much, and really paying attention also helps dramatically. I know that's, crazy, right? That if you pay attention to a movie, the story actually works better for you. But it wasn't that, it was everything worked better for me. So, all right, let's get into it. So it starts with this story of Wakanda, which I thought was really cool. The stylistic choices here by Ryan Coogler, big fan of Creed. So I like him as a director, and I think he made a lot of really cool choices visually, and it just, in the music and everything, I don't know, it feels right. Everything about this movie feels right. And there is a pretty heavy subtext here, no doubt about it, especially with Killmonger's character. But it really just makes sense, and it worked so well for the film, and I completely understand where the character's coming from. Whether you think it's, social justice warrior, fucking agenda bullshit, whatever, I think it works perfectly for the story that is set up here, and we're gonna get more into that. But on this rewatch, I was really appreciating the subtext and how it was handled, and the the way that T'Challa plays off of Killmonger, and the back and forth and the different ideologies, and why one would think that way and why the other one would think that way. One being raised in Wakanda as a fucking prince, and the other one having his father killed and left behind, and watching, growing up in the slums where he is, and seeing so many of his own people suffer, and knowing that there is a tribe out there of people that he should be a part of, that his father was betrayed by in his eyes, and that could help them all out, that they have these weapons, that they have this technology to come in and liberate these people, to put them on top of the food chain, for them not to live in the slums anymore, for them not to be oppressed anymore, and for them to hide behind it and only just, reap the benefits for themselves and themselves alone. It makes perfect fucking sense. It's so much so to the point where he actually convinces T'Challa, Black Panther here at the end, that he's right to an extent, that we are going to go out there. We are going to have outreach programs. We are going to share our technology. We are going to fucking, arm people with our weapons. This is the right thing to do. He was right. He just went about it the wrong way. So yet again, the reason why this villain works so well, and it's one of the best MCU villains outside of probably Thanos, and Vulture is close, is because Michael B. Jordan's fucking amazing, and everything he's done for me has been fantastic. I just love that guy. So they couldn't have picked a better person to play the character, but his character thinks that he's right, and from a certain point of view, to quote freaking Star Wars here, he's right. And as I said, so much so that he convinces, even though they're through terrible actions, he convinces these people that this is the right thing to do. So yeah, I don't know. The way it's written, and I really appreciated how it all unfolded this time around. And I really loved Killmonger's character, even more so than ever, because I completely understood where he was coming from, and his performance is fucking awesome. He looks awesome. He's fucking jacked. He's so cool. I love him, man. He's cool. So fucking cool. So this movie starts in 1991, and Prince Najobu is exposed, and we find out later that was Forrest Whitaker's character there that exposed him and was going to get killed, but Black Panther stepped in and ended that shit. This movie takes place 1 week after Civil War, and Nakia is pulled out of her mission because Black Panther is being crowned king and his father has been killed, and she knows nothing about it. I guess she's pretty damn deep undercover. Wakanda being hidden, very reminiscent, of course, of Wonder Woman, but that's okay. It's still very cool, very beautiful city. I love the shot of them going through and seeing the whole city. Yes, we've seen this stuff before, but, you know, like he says, this never gets old. It's true. It's cool. It's visually stunning. Yet again, I mean, we get to see freaking Claw in this movie. So cool. Andy Serkis. Anytime Andy Serkis is in a movie, it just instantly makes it cooler. So you not only got freaking Andy Serkis, one of my favorite performers of all time, who's played some of the most iconic characters, from Caesar to obviously Smeagol Gollum to freaking Kong to Snoke to all these incredible characters that he's performed, but now he gets to actually be out in his own skin, and his performance is fucking incredible. He's such a fun, evil villain, and oh man, that moment where they're in the museum and he tells the guy, like, okay, you can go, just run, and just don't tell anybody, and he shoots him as he runs away. That is so fucking, his reasoning is so cold-blooded. Like, we need to have the crime scene spread out a little more so we look like amateurs. Great sequence. I love that whole museum sequence. I think that's so cool. The music of him, the shot from behind, the girl coming up, him talking about how she's like, none of these are for sale, and he's like, oh, did you buy these? Like, did the people who took these from my people pay for these? Like, yes, I know certain people are so like, oh my God, that's fucking, stop, shoving your agendas down my throat. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't see it that way. It makes sense to the film, and it's a fucking relevant topic. This shit was stolen, and he's coming to reclaim it. I like it. It is, it's just, I like it. So, it makes sense, and yeah. So, that whole sequence, them taking it, and he looks at the mask, and he's like, don't tell me that's vibranium too, and he's like, nah, I'm just feeling it. He takes it, goes, and he kisses his girlfriend, and the Claw, looks at him, and then smiles and closes it. The way that's all shot, the way that's all done, just such great directing. The movie's so stunning visually. The acting's all great. The shots are all great. It's such a fucking cool flick. And I'm kind of upset with myself for not liking it more the first time. But hey, the movie's only as good as your last watch, says Dave Z from Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast. And I agree with him wholeheartedly on that one. Your last experience with a film is all that matters. So in order to be king, he has to have the Black Panther power stripped away, and all the tribes have to come and say whether or not they're going to fight for the throne. And the Jabari tribe comes out of nowhere, and M'Baku challenges, which I think is kind of interesting, because you have M'Baku here, and then you have the other character, W'Kabi. And both of those guys, W'Kabi is the guy who starred in Jordan Peele's Get Out, and then in Jordan Peele's Us, it's M'Baku. So it's kind of cool to see both of them, as well, of course, as Nakia. You got a lot of people being taken from here. I guess that maybe shows you how shallow the pool is of black actors to draw from. That almost all of Jordan Peele's casts are in this movie here. That's kind of funny. And kind of not funny at all. And I like how they're like, they surround them by all their weapons, and when they're fighting and one of them gets knocked down or hit, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but they move in like a step and the ring kind of gets closer and closer and closer, and they're being surrounded by all these death weapons, and he makes him yield. I really like M'Baku. I like his character a lot in this, and the way he portrays him, that actor, I like him. I dig him a lot. And then the Black Panther ritual where he visits the ancestral plane, gorgeous, just beautiful stuff, very Lion King-esque, you know, but it's just the bright neon purples on the sky and all the panthers sitting in the tree, and his dad jumps down and he's talking to his dad, and there's this emotional moment and he comes up out of the dirt. It's so symbolic, it's so cool. Visually, as I said, this movie is just fucking arresting. It's stunning. And Nakia, I mean, the reason she doesn't want to stay around is she doesn't agree with the Wakandans. She's actually kind of more on the side of Killmonger, except for he's obviously way beyond. There's extremism, and he's on that side of things, but she's kind of more on his side. Shuri is kind of the Tony Stark of Wakanda, but the only advantage she seems to have over him is that she has vibranium to use, and that's a very rare substance for everyone else. I mean, Howard Stark got to use it to make Cap's shield, but outside of that, there's very little. So Tony, you know, needs one of those vibranium suits, but we'll get there. Not in this movie, though. And then, yeah, I mean, not only do we get Smeagol Gollum, but we also get Bilbo himself, Martin Freeman, playing Ross, and he's there in the casino to make the deal. And we actually get to see them interact. So there's a sequence here, and it's not riddles in the dark. It's freaking, you know, them making an exchange for vibranium, which is just always great to see them on screen together in such different performances. Holy shit, they're completely different. The one-take casino fight is thrilling. It's so masterfully done. It's so cool. They're jumping around, flying around the casino all in one continuous shot. Of course, it's not actually one continuous shot, but they make it look like that. And that's always so cool when they do it and when they're effective with it. And man, they really do nail it pretty good. Love that the suit charges with kinetic energy, so anytime he's injured or shot at or whatever, it just kind of builds up, and then he kind of can expel that and blow things up around him. Super cool. The car chase is crazy intense. When he's jumping off cars, he's using the kinetic energy to blow cars up as he jumps onto the next one, and then his sister there is like droning this car from the things they throw on. The technology super cool. And then freaking chick from Walking Dead is jumping up on the car. She throws the vibranium spear through the car, goes through the window, drops in front of him, and then the car just smashes into it because it's, you know, this unbreakable metal, and it's like hitting a freaking pillar or something. That was a great sequence there. Claw's car goes nuts. His gun is insane. It would have ripped the Black Panther apart had he hit him. Claw exposes Wakanda to Ross, so he's kind of given up their secrets. And then, you know, he comes back empty-handed because Killmonger comes in there, takes him, and then goes and kills him to bring him to Wakanda because that's his ticket in, which I thought was great. He's eluded capture for 30 years. It was kind of sad to see him die because I do love that actor, but yeah, it works very well for the story. And then W'Kabi just completely loses faith in T'Challa. He's just like, no, I'm fucking done with you. Like, you're just, it's all the same. I mean, yet again, you're letting this guy go. You guys are failures. You know, how are we to trust you? And when Killmonger comes in, he does. He really reacts in a positive way towards him, which, of course, his wife does not agree with. And I like that dynamic as well. And yeah, I mean, we get the backstory of Uncle Nujabu, who says, you know, he was tired of watching blacks suffer injustice, and he could have just helped him. So that's what he was doing out there. He's doing what Killmonger wanted to do, but now Killmonger's coming back to claim the throne so he can do it more efficiently than his father did. And him, when he goes in and he kills Black Panther, kills him and throws him over, and then he goes in and he goes to his ancestral plane, like, you can just see the difference between the two characters and why the way they are is with, you can see why the way they are is why they are. However the fuck I'm trying to say that, those words aren't coming out right, but you know what I'm trying to say. Because Black Panther is, he goes into his ancestral plane, beyond, and he sees this beautiful place with all these, passed on Black Panthers, and he talks to his father, and it's this emotional, beautiful moment that he gets to say like goodbye to his father properly after losing him in an explosion the way that he did. And then what does Killmonger see? He goes and he has to fucking basically relive his father's death and his abandonment and feeling alone and orphaned, and he's crying, and it's just this sad, awful moment, and it just, it just solidifies his cause, what he wants. And it just, the way those two scenes play out, if you put them back to back, it's like, this is this guy's life and this is this guy's life. No wonder he is the way that he is. And he's completely radicalized by his death and the beliefs of his father. It makes complete sense, especially since he was abandoned by the king. The king could have taken him with him. I mean, maybe he didn't know about him, but he said, I do, right? He's like, I chose to leave him behind. He does know about him. That was a stupid move. A completely stupid move. He brought it upon himself. 100%. And oh man, even freaking Forrest Whitaker's character tries to step in and gets himself killed there. That's Zuri, right? There's his name. And all the burns on his skin from all the kills he's had. Holy shit, dude! This guy is rivaling Jason Voorhees on the amount of people he's killed. He's racking up kills like it's a video game. And yeah, Zuri feels responsible, obviously, for being part of his father's death, so that's why he can step in and take death for him there. Love when he yells, "I'm your king now," and throws him over. Is this your king? And all. Oh man, that's such a great moment. And Okeo, chick from Walking Dead, Okeo, is that her name? She's loyal to the throne. And she tries to stay as loyal to the throne as she can until it's just enough is enough. And they go to M'Baku for help. He, tells them that he's got him still alive. They happen to grab one of the plants because Killmonger freaking burned all the other plants. I do think those plants are going to play into the next movie somehow. Like, those are going to get passed out maybe to a whole army. We'll see what happens there, but those plants are not done for. And yeah, he comes back, takes down a plane. Not sure how he took down a fucking plane. Did he jump up that high and take him down? I'm not really sure how he made that attack, but he did. And then W'Kabi turns on him, comes after him because he's loyal to the new king that he believes in. Ross takes over as gunner on the ship, goes after the guns that are going to be given out to everybody. The Jabari tribe comes to help. Ooh! I love that scene. Great stuff. You know what's happening. You know what's coming a mile out. It's very predictable. I'm not going to say it isn't, but it doesn't make it any less cool when they do show up. And then Ross ends up staying when he's under attack. You think he's going to have a death moment where he's like, no, I'm just going to stay. But he still gets out of there no problem. So it's really not. It's still telling of his character, but it's not like he does die doing it. And then, he uses the magnetic propulsion, grab lifts, whatever, to take down the suit, and he jumps over and he stabs him in the one little spot. It's a hell of a move. And then he takes him up and he's like, we could save you. And he's like, why? And the last line he has about, like, you just bury me in the ocean, like my slave brothers who knew that that death was better than bondage or whatever. Great line. The way he delivers that, the way it's written, the fact that like he said that the sun will never set on the Wakanda Empire, and it's like it never did. He's like watching the sunset as his failure comes to grasp there, and he's just sitting there, and the sun never really does fall. He's only in that place for the day, right? I mean, I think it rises, and then by the time it's about to fall, he's already been dethroned and killed. So it's very, very fast. But they'll look out at the sunset as he's watching, the one day that he was king fall from his grace there. It's so good. As I said, I'm kind of bummed that I didn't like this more. And then, he goes out and he has Shuri. She's going to have her and freaking, Nakia. Jesus, these names are hard to fucking remember. They're gonna have an outreach program. She's gonna head up the technology. She's gonna teach technology to people, and they're coming out to Welp. And I love the scene he has with the UN telling them like, "We're gonna help you," and they're like, "How could you help us? You're a third world country. Like, what the fuck do you have?" And he's just like, "Yeah." He has that smile a couple times. He does with the kid, like, "Who are you?" And he gives a smile like credits. Then in the UN, this guy is just fucking egomaniac. And then Bucky in Wakanda, great end credit sequence as well. Is there a romance going on between him and Shuri? Feels possible, doesn't it? A little bit? I don't know. Feels like it. She tells him there's much more to learn though. What are they teaching him? What are they teaching him? Look forward to seeing him in Wakanda in Infinity War. I feel like it's going to be like my first time watching the damn movie now that I have all this intimate knowledge of all the other movies. So next time we see each other, it's going to be for Infinity War. I'm really looking forward to that. All right.